Everyone, it's Jena here, and today I have a new layout to share for Bramble Fox. Today I'm working with the December 2022 Fox Plus, and I'm going to be using the Chilly Days perspective. I have started off this layout today by using a cut file, and this is one by the Cut Shop, and this particular cut file is called Lovely Labyrinth. It's super cheap. I think it was only sort of about 99 cents. So when converted, worked out at like 88p. So super cheap. And I thought it was quite a sweet design. So I've cut the cut file out of plain white cardstock, and you can see that I've got sort of the outside remainder of the white cardstock that I cut the cut file from. Placed just on top of a piece of plain white cardstock that I've not touched, and I'm just using that as a guide to stick my cut file back down into place, just using some PVA glue. So I've got this really small heart punch which you can see to the right hand side of my desk, and off camera I cut some different coloured hearts out of light pink, dark pink and blue plain cardstock, and I just creased those down the centre just so that they were kind of a little bit more dimensional than completely flat. And what I'm just doing is adding a tiny little bit of PVA glue just to the middle parts, and that will essentially allow me to lift the edges up and add just again a little bit more dimension and texture there as well. So I'm just going to make my way around, and once all of those hearts are stuck in place, I do also run this through my sewing machine and add some black machine stitching to that. I must admit, because this design was like really quite thin when it was cut out, I ended up sort of manually using my sewing machine to add the stitching, because I didn't quite trust myself with my foot on the pedal, and it took quite a long time just sort of hand cranking it, but I figured it would take less time to hand crank it through my sewing machine than it would do if I was to completely sew the design by hand. So I must admit that probably took a couple of hours all in all, but I do really like the end result. I quite like the black contrast against the white cardstock, and also how there's quite a lot of sort of dark colours in my photos. So I've got two photos today. These are the same photo, and they are 3 by 4 inches. I have created a couple of sort of backing pieces just to put behind those in that same dark pink cardstock. And then I've pulled out a couple of other bits that I've had in a massive pile of sort of spare bits that I didn't want to throw away but haven't sort of found a use for yet. So I've got a couple of flowers. These were created using a Vicky Booton stencil. I think it was one that came with the colour study collection. And then I've also got some leafy bits as well. So those sort of long green leaves I created myself by using stencil number 23, along with some bundled sage distress oxide ink, and just one of those blending brushes just to apply that onto the stencil. I've got a couple of other bits that I'm working with. I've got a few sort of puffy white stickers, and a few other little bits that I've added in as well. So I've got a joy sticker that I've got above my left hand photo, and then I've also got a couple of other sort of like leafy bits that I've tucked in there as well. I have pulled out this old November 2021 hip kit, and there are a couple of stickers in there that I really thought would work quite nicely just because of the colours matching the ones that I've used so far. And there's some stickers which say peace, love and joy, so I've added those to the right hand side of my right photo. And then I've got a couple of paper snips that I've added to the other side of my left photo. I'm just going to lift my perspective up off my page just by adding a few foam squares to the back of that. I'm going to cut some of them in half just so that they fit on there and they don't sort of overhang and you can't see them poking through. But it's really just to sort of like lift it up off the page and create a little bit of a shadow, just so you can tell there's a little bit of difference there. So that's going to go to the sort of top right hand corner of my page. And then I'm just going to make sure that I can get this little hat piece included as well. This was from a perspective pack that I bought last year or maybe even the year before, that I have yet to sort of use up. But I saw that there was this really cute sort of pink bobble hat perspective that would work quite nicely. So I just backed that to some white cardstock and cut that out. And then I've got a couple of really small heart perspectives as well that I'm just going to add into each of those clusters there. The last thing I do for this layout is really just to try and help with the photos, but I just sort of pinch my hearts and try and lift the edges up just so that, again, you can kind of tell that there's a little bit of dimension there as well. So I'm just going to spend a moment doing that, and I'll have the final layout up on screen in just a moment. I've also got a few close-ups to share as well, so they'll follow just after. I hope that you have enjoyed watching this video today, and it's given you maybe an idea as to how you might be able to use some of your perspectives. If you have got any questions or comments or anything at all, I would love to hear from you, so please do feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again in my next video.